couple days ago, I met someone named Confidence. He told me it was inspired by his Chinese name, Ah Xing. Bro, you just can't do that. You can't translate Chinese name into English directly or vice versa. It just doesn't work like that. And I get his logic, but still, Confidence, that's not a name. It's more of, a character, a personality. It's more of a vibe. It's like if your name is Wang Qiang, which is a super common Chinese name, and then you call yourself Strong Wang in English. Like, what are we doing here? That just sounds weird on so many levels. Or let's flip it. If you're a Westerner and your name is Andrew Smith, and you translate it directly into Chinese, Andalus, technically fine. It doesn't sound as wild as Strong Wang, but let's be real. That's not how Chinese name works. And that's when it hit me. I noticed there's a huge culture gap when it comes to naming. Chinese names, they're loaded with meanings, family values, birth order, even lines from, Asian poetry. Take Bruce Lee, Li Xiaolong, for example. If you translate that literally, it's gonna be Little Dragon Lee. Kind of cute, right? But there's actually a deeper meaning behind it. Alright, look, Bruce Lee was born in the year of dragon. And in Chinese culture, the dragon symbolizes power, strength, and energy. Basically everything Bruce Lee stood for. And also, let's be honest, there were probably a ton of Xiaolong, little dragons born that year, because every parent wanted their kid to be, strong and legendary like Bruce Lee. I was born in the year of the dog, and I bet you $100,000 there's no one out there naming their kid Xiaogou, little puppy. Imagine calling myself Chen Xiaogou. Ooh, that's gonna be a tough life. So yeah, Chinese names carry weight. They're symbolic. They're not just sounds. They're more, stories. While English names, on the other hand, they're just names. Sure, some come from famous people like George from the Kings, Winston like Churchill, Lincoln from Abraham Lincoln. But usually there's not that much, deep meaning behind them. Nobody's naming their baby Hope because they were born in tough times. Well, maybe some do, but it's not that common. And that's why it sounds super weird when people try to give their English name some deep meaning, like calling yourself Apple or Dragon or Tiger or Courage. Bro, it just doesn't work that way. But if you name yourself Jordan because you admire Michael Jordan, that works. Because you want to be like him. That makes sense. One of my good friends came up with the English name Stony, and honestly, I think it's perfect. His Chinese name has the character Shi, time, and his nickname growing up was Shitou, stone. But calling yourself Stone in English, a bit too much, right? So he mixed Tony and Stone together into Stony. And he did this years before Post Malone dropped his Stony album. And that's how you do a proper translation. You keep the spirit, not the syllables. So if you're Chinese and looking for an English name, don't just translate your name literally. Think about someone you admire or vibe you want to give off. If you love music, name yourself after your favorite musician. If you love movies, name yourself after a director or a character that inspires you. On the flip side, if you're a Westerner trying to get a Chinese name, then you gotta take your time. It's not just about picking a cool sounding word. It should carry meaning. For example, my best friend, he took the same family name as me, Chen, and the second character too, because in Chinese tradition, the second character often represents your generation in the family. So all my cousins and now my best friend, we share the same second character. And he picked the third character himself, Nuo. It means promise, because he wants to be someone who keeps his words. And that's what I mean when I say Chinese naming can be deep, like really deep. I could literally do a whole new episode just about that. But the point is, don't translate names word for word, because you might end up as Strong Wang or as Andalus, and that's not cool.